It's every cat parent's worst nightmare. You wake up in the morning, but there's no furry presence sleeping next to your head on the pillow. No yowling for food in the kitchen. No clambering onto your keyboard when you're trying to get to work. Instead, the door or window is open and your kitty is missing. Time to wander the streets calling their name and rattling a packet of cat treats. Time to put up handmade posters and post frantic pleas on social media. Time to beg your neighbors to check their garages and gardens and anywhere else your furry fugitive might be hiding themselves. The good news is, most feline escapees come home again eventually. Either they waltz in the door one morning acting like they never left, or they're found lurking on a neighbor's property and get brought back. Your cat is probably fine. But you may find yourself wondering, why did they run away in the first place? Did you do something wrong? Do they not love you anymore? Are they two-timing you with some other family down the street, or was it just the call of the wild? In this video, we're going to look at some of the reasons why cats run away from home and how you can prevent them from doing so. But before we dive in, why not subscribe to our channel and join our feline-loving community for more videos on how to care for your kitty. While you're at it, ring that notification bell to receive instant updates whenever we post new content. What is home? You might think that your cat's home is the same as your home, and if you have an indoor-only cat, that probably is the case. But if your kitty is allowed to free roam, then the situation could be a bit more complicated. A cat's sense of home can be divided into two parts. First, there's their home range, which is the area that they patrol, where they hunt and look for other cats to mate with. For feral cats, that is cats who don't have people to look after them. These can get very large indeed. One study found that the average territory size for a feral cat in a rural area was over 75 hectares, which is an area of land only slightly smaller than that occupied by the SeaWorld theme park in San Diego. Domestic kitties tend to have smaller ranges, however, mainly because they don't have to worry about hunting for food. Outdoor cats average at about 1.89 hectares, or just over 3.5 football fields. Within that home range, your kitty will have a specific area, probably centered around your house, that they think of as their territory, and will defend from any other cats who try to move in. In human terms, your cat's territory is like your house and backyard, an area that you live in that only people who are members of your household, or people you like enough to invite, are allowed to enter. By comparison, a home range is like your neighborhood. The place where you go to work, hang out with friends, buy food, and spend most of your time. You share it with other people, just like cats will often have home ranges that overlap with those of other kitties, but you might well still think of it as home, especially when you're talking to people who don't live there. And just like you probably wouldn't consider yourself lost if you were hanging out at the library a few blocks from your house, your cat won't necessarily think of themselves as lost if they're just wandering around the edge of their home range. They know exactly where they are. Unfortunately, not all cats who go missing are just wandering their home range. Sometimes, despite their territorial natures, cats will choose to leave their home for good. Here are some of the most common reasons why cats run away or go wandering, and what you can do about it. Number 1. You've moved house. We've all heard those miracle stories of cats who somehow get separated from their homes and end up returning over miles of distance. We've all seen the incredible journey. But this remarkable ability works both ways. If your cat considers their home territory to be somewhere other than your house, then they may feel compelled to make a similar odyssey to get back to it. You may have heard that you can combat this instinct by rubbing butter on your cat's paws to make them wash themselves. This is an old wives' tale. Buttering your cat may make it slightly easier to follow them if they do run away. Just follow the trail of buttery paw prints. But the idea that your cat will consider any place where they have washed themselves to be their new home territory is a total myth. Cats will wash themselves anywhere. Instead, the best thing to do is to simply keep your kitty inside for at least 2 weeks after moving. This will give them time to get used to their new home. Number 2. Home doesn't feel like home anymore. Your cat's territory is their safe space, a place where they feel secure. When a cat runs away, It's often because that sense of security has been compromised. Cats are very sensitive to change. Even small changes can stress them out, and large changes can cause them so much anxiety that they may no longer feel safe in the house. One of the most common and potentially devastating changes your furry friend might have to cope with is the introduction of a new family member, whether they be a new pet, a new baby, or a new partner or flatmate. Another cat will likely be perceived as an intruder and treated as such, even if they're only a kitten. A larger pet like a dog, on the other hand, could be seen as a predator. New babies are loud and unpredictable, and once they get a bit older, they can be grabby and play rough. New adults in a household should hopefully be more able to adjust their behavior to put an anxious kitty more at ease. But your average adult human is also about 6 times the size of even a large cat, which tends to make them seem more threatening. The best thing you can do in this circumstance is introduce the new family member slowly. If it's another cat or a dog, start off by keeping the new animal in a separate room, while allowing the other one to free roam the house. Trade the animals bedding and toys every day or so that they can get used to each other's scents. Once the new animal seems more relaxed in their new environment, you can start introducing them to each other through a barrier, such as a baby gate or a door with a window in it. For a new cat, give each cat a treat and introduce toys on each side of the barrier so that the two of them will associate each other's presence with fun and treats. Once they start being able to relax in each other's presence, you can remove the barrier. With a new dog, on the other hand, you should focus on training them to stay calm and focused in the presence of the cat. Let the cat roam free on their side of the barrier, while you focus on getting the dog to stay seated or lying down, making sure that their attention is on you and not the cat. Only when the dog is able to stay perfectly calm in the presence of the cat, and the cat is able to act relaxed and natural in the presence of the dog, should the two animals be introduced. With a new human, young or old, the process should go even slower than that. Your cat should never be forced to interact with a new baby or roommate. Instead, provide them with safe opportunities to approach on their own at their own speed. All cats are resistant to change, but they're also intensely curious. If they're given the time to come to terms with the situation, they'll likely initiate contact on their own, eventually. Number 3. They're in heat. If you've recently welcomed a new kitten into your home, you've probably been told not to let them out of the house until they're old enough to be spayed or neutered. You might think that the only risk of an unfixed fur baby escaping is a potential litter of adorable accidents, but you'd be wrong. From the age of 6 months onwards, female cats who haven't been spayed will begin going into heat. A female cat in heat wants, more than anything else, to mate, and given the slightest opportunity, she will escape your home to go find a male cat. Cat parents of male cats have it even worse, as males can breed at any time of year. Intact males will regularly go on long trips away from home, searching for female cats who are in heat, or fighting with other males who are perceived as romantic rivals. The solution to this particular problem is simple. Always spay or neuter your pets before you let them out to wander the neighborhood. For more information about the psychology of your cat, why not check out this video on how your personality can influence that of your kitty?